Good afternoon, everyone. I just thought I would do a short video called "Staying Sane in Lockdown," and just to really say hi, connect. I hope you're all doing okay. And so, just a few things that have come to my mind. There will be there's loads of wisdom out there. There's and I'm sure most of us are saying similar things, but nevertheless, it's a chance to just say hi. Connect a little bit, and also just to maybe throw a few thoughts out around this new lifestyle that all of us are getting used to. So just a few things to consider, and to some of them won't be new, but it may be good to hear again as we just think about what does it look like to in a funny sort of way make the most of this time. Ephesians talks about redeeming the time, making the most of the time of every opportunity. I suppose we might not see this as an opportunity, but sometimes if we change the way we think about a situation, it doesn't change the situation, but actually we can gain a lot more, benefit a lot more from it. So maybe to see it as a bit of an opportunity might be useful. So just a few thoughts. Number one, I think structure is really important. I think it's so easy when you're in sort of, I guess, almost not total lockdown, but quite a very restrictive lifestyle. It's kind of easy to just lose all sense of structure. And I think one of the things that's really wise is to just keep certain things in place throughout the day. Some say you have to plan every minute. It's a bit uptight. It's nice to have margins, but if you can just keep certain things in place during the day, keep your meal times regular, and things like that. I would say this though: prioritize the spiritual. So everyone's a bit different with this, aren't we? But I often find that if I don't spend quality time in the Bible or praying near the start of the day, then very often life takes over, and then it's the end of the day. And you sort of think, well, I'm sure that kind of sounds logical in normal life, but in lockdown life, does that really happen? I think it's not so much about. It's a weird thing. I don't think it's so much about whether or not we've got a lot in the diary or not. I just think it's one of those things where you can easily just find yourself at the end of the day, and you've not really eaten and drunk of Jesus in a kind of a deep, nourishing way. So I would encourage to keep structure and prioritize the spiritual. Also, there's something wonderful about prayer in the sense we can reach the ends of the earth in prayer. So even though we're stuck in our kitchen or front room or our house or flat or whatever, your bedroom, if you're in a flat share, and maybe even you don't know your flatmates that well, or I don't know, there's all kinds of different situations we're in, but you can reach the ends of the earth in prayer. Genuinely, it might sound a little bit funny. I'm not saying it's the same as going there, but there's something so real about what the Lord has done in our hearts as we've come to know him, is that he's shared his heart for the whole earth with us, so we can touch things that we can't touch physically at the moment, but we can touch them still spiritually. Another thought is to give some time to volunteering. The NHS put out a call for 250,000 volunteers. I think within a couple of days they had 500,000 plus. Now they're asking for 750,000. I'm not sure where the current figures are, but that's something, if you're fit and healthy, that could be a really good use of your time. Also, we're still running food bank. It's very different now. We're no longer using the area to create a social space, but we're still distributing, and actually it's looking unsurprisingly very, very busy. So we can still talk to Adrian, email admin@revelationchurch.org.uk if you're free on a Wednesday, maybe to help pack some food up, or on a Thursday to help distribute. And also just sort of being a good neighbour, keeping an eye out if you've got neighbours that are living by themselves, and you just reaching out where you can in appropriate ways. Just drop your phone number through, or a little postcard, little greeting, just checking in. I was chatting to my friend the other day who lives in South London. He lives in a huge converted house, a house that's been converted into flats, and not one of his neighbours has popped by to see how he's doing. You think, oh, don't let that be true of those that we live close to. Also, make the most of your encouragement to get exercise once a day. I've always found that exercise is something I never really feel like doing before I do it, but afterwards I'm always so glad that I did. I'm sure most of us are making the most of that. But physically, just to get out, fresh air, stretch your legs, really, really good. Stay connected with friends, really, really important. again, it sometimes can be really encouraging to say, who do I want to connect with this week? So that life doesn't just feel like totally just kind of monotonous, like nothing's happening. Think through, I'm going to have a chat with that person over lunch on that day. We're going to WhatsApp video together or Zoom together or whatever platform you use. We're going to have a lunch and a catch up. Plan it ahead so you've got things to look forward to connecting. If you're not part of a gospel community and you're part of Rev, or if you're part of another church, you're not in a small group, now's the time to get involved. Praise God, at Rev, we've got 4 new gospel communities starting. You can find all the details of those on the last update there. Ever so important. Running partners, people to just pray with and connect with. Let's try to see this time as an opportunity to do those things we never got round to do. So it could be that there were little jobs around your flat or around your house, or if you're blessed to have a garden or some outdoor space, some things you wanted to do. Well, now's the time. Maybe there was some research that you wanted to do, some things you've been interested in, you wanted to find out more about. Well, thank God for the internet. Do some research, maybe find some good things that have been written about it, some good radio programs or television programs. Say, I'm gonna think about this during this time. I'm gonna give a bit of thought to this subject, whether that's something directly related to Christianity and the Bible, or whether that's just something that is not particularly, but nevertheless, it's an interest for you. You want to find out more about it, maybe something geographical, something historical, something scientific. We're all different, aren't we? Something artistic. Let's do that. Maybe there's DIY, maybe book that you wanted to get round to reading. I've just finished reading Lord of the Rings. It took me about 7 years. I'll be honest with you, sometimes it was on a shelf for about 2 years without even being picked up. That's why it took that long. But I just loved it so much. I'm now reading it again, and it's my lockdown book, and it's just a joy to read. Be thankful for the small things, the little things that come our way. Let's just be thankful. It's ever so important to maintain a posture of thankfulness. It keeps a lot of the bogeymen away. Discontent, self-pity, and all those things are kept at bay with thankfulness. So let's just give thanks for every small thing. Have you got enough toilet roll? Give thanks. Have you got enough food? Give thanks. Are there people you can connect with, text, speak to? Give thanks. It's ever so important that you can. Don't believe everything you think. If you're less connected than normal, strange ideas can grow in our heads. Don't believe everything you think, and don't believe everything you hear. Which brings me on to ration. I would advise you to ration the amount of news you listen to and watch. I think it's really good to keep up to date with what's going on. But personally, I just ration it. I just try to probably make a point at least once a day of just, okay, what's going on? But what I don't want is that constant drip feed of bad news in my mind and heart just all through the day, because most of it, let's be honest, is not great news at the moment. So to stay up to date, but I would advise you to ration that. If you are not by yourself, do your best to pull together with those who are indoors with you. We all face such different situations. For some of us, it's housemates that we know really well. Others of us, it's housemates that we don't. Others of us, it's marriage. Others of us, it's marriage and kids. Do your best to pull together. Do your best to be a blessing. We have a saying in our family that we learned off of someone else a little while back, which was grace gives space. Give one another space. Give one another room. It's ever so important that we do that, so that we're being kind to one another. And then max out your design. If you're an extrovert, catch up with all those you've been meaning to for ages. If you're an introvert, don't overindulge the lockdown. Don't overindulge the isolation. Do stay connected. Okay, make sure that you. If you're an introvert, you're probably not seriously stressed out yet, unless you're living with a bunch of extroverts. But if you're an introvert, you're probably thinking this is quite nice. But stay connected. If you're an extrovert, catch up with all those that you can. But make sure that your primary connection to Jesus stays at the center. And so finally, just to sort of say, don't lose your shape. See this season as preparation. Use it to reflect and prepare. Who knows what's coming next? Who knows what lies ahead for us? So it's not going to last forever. It will pass. So keep your perspective. Don't lose your shape, and just be using this season to prepare and reflect for what comes next. Okay, love you guys so much. Really missing physical contact with you and face-to-face fellowship with you. So looking forward to the next season. But let's make the most of this one. Okay, see ya.